Hi, I'm Rachel from Rachel's guest tutor at Pretty Witty Cakes. So you might just have noticed that we're not filming in our normal studio, and that's because we've taken Pretty Witty Cakes on the road. And in today's little freebie tutorial, I'm going to be talking to you about how to store pastes. And when I say pastes, I mean my fondant paste, which is the one we roll out and cover our big cakes with, and floral paste. So here, this was a big packet of floral paste. So yeah, how to store your fondant and your floral paste, okay? So you might think it would be okay to just wrap it up in cling film or tin foil. These are two things that are great for covering other things, but I think they're rubbish for storing your fondant and your floral paste. Fondant is a lot softer and it dries out a lot less quickly than flour paste, but I tend to like to store them both in the same way. The reason I don't like using cling film is it's breathable to a certain extent. So if any air starts to get to our fondant and our floral paste, then it's just going to start to dry out, and you'll go to get it out of here and the edges will have all started to go a bit hard and a bit crispy. So although cling film can be fantastic for many other things, I wouldn't use it for storing my fondant and floral paste. So we're going to throw it over here. I also wouldn't like to use tin foil just because, one, it tears really, really easily. And if you've got anything a little bit sticky, you might be trying to unwrap your piece of fondant and all the little bits of tin foil will be stuck to it. So it's really annoying for that reason. And also, it just doesn't keep the air out unless you completely, flatten it all down. And then if you do squish it all down and squish out all the air, then you've got a nightmare picking off all the little bits. So again, although tin foil is a fantastic invention for covering and wrapping other things, I don't use it for storing paste. So we're going to throw that one over here. So what's left on the table? Lovely little Tupperware tub. Okay, now these are great. They are, great for other things. They are airtight once you put your item in there and you seal all the sides down. So it can be good from that point of view. But if you took a little piece of, here we go, got some in here. Took a little piece of floral paste. So this is the one that's going to dry really hard quite quickly. And you popped it in that box and came back to it a day later to use, because you're sealing that box, but you're sealing all of that air around it, all of that air is going to dry out that little piece of fondant, okay, of floral paste, okay? The only way that this would work is if you packed it full and then put the lid on, so there was no air all around that item. So they can be good for some things, but when it comes to storing my fondant and floral paste, I still wouldn't use one of these little boxes. So we're going to throw that one over there. So now all that's left on my table are some bags, okay? This is my preferred method, so you may have another preferred method at home. I love to use the IKEA plastic bags, so a nice little sale point there for IKEA. In their kitchen department, they sell these rolls of bags and they come in all different sizes and they're graded with colour, which is also really helpful. So these little bags I like to use for my floral paste. So you can see here I've got a little bag of all different colours. I was making something yesterday and I'm using all these different colours and I don't want to throw it away. They're all colours that I want to come back to. So I keep them in this bag and I squeeze out the air and I seal it, and that's how I keep my paste. And I know that when I come back to that in a day or even a week, it's still going to be soft, okay? And the reason being is that these bags aren't breathable. They're made of a particular kind of plastic that isn't breathable, okay? Some sandwich bags that you can buy, here's one that I actually bought by mistake. I bought a roll of what was called sandwich bags from the supermarket, and they're great little bags for your sandwiches. Can't even get this one open. Somehow it opens. Great bag for your sandwiches, but it is slightly breathable, so the air is going to get in and it's not going to keep your fondant and floral paste nice and soft. So make sure that what you're buying is a nice sealed bag, okay? And back to our lovely IKEA bags. These bags also come in some really lovely big sizes. So this is one of the biggest ones. And these are some of the smallest ones, I believe, that they do. So there's about 5 or 6. And they come in these lovely rolls. And when it comes to storing my fondant, because you've got much bigger lumps, these big bags are fantastic. So I buy my fondant in big blocks. So once I've used a bit off the block, it's a lot easier for me if I can just pop it in the bag, roll it round. There's plenty of bag there. You can either seal across the top, and that's just going to keep it super soft until I want to come back to it another time. You really don't want to be throwing away all your little bits and bobs, all your leftover pieces. You can use them on the next cake. So yeah, look after your fondant, look after your floral paste, and that's the way that I do it.